Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into an absolute paradigm shift. We're going to uncover exactly how the highly specialized, super disciplined training of combat-resilient veterans is being routed directly into the off-grid engineering of something called the ARQ18. When you combine that hardware with an advanced AI system known as GENII, well, it builds this unbreakable, bottom-up economic paradigm. It's literally a blueprint for completely rebooting our planetary operating system, and we're going to break it all down.
Let's start with a massive, perception-altering question. What if global hunger, what we'll call the hunger bug, isn't actually an unsolvable resource deficit, but simply a systems engineering glitch? And what if that glitch has finally been solved? You know, for decades, we've treated global crises like they're just inevitable shortages, but the data we're looking at today completely flips that on its head.
Think of it like a computer program. Our current global operating system is running on what we can call legacy code. It's driven by a scarcity mindset, zero-sum logic where someone has to lose for someone else to win, and fragile paper contracts that, honestly, inevitably lead to system crashes. But we're looking at a major upgrade here. The new code is a hard-coded shift to an abundance reality, fully secured by asset-backed guarantees. Basically, we're transitioning from just managing scarcity to actually engineering abundance.
Section 1. The Global Scarcity Glitch. So, when we diagnose the state of our world, we essentially see two competing pathways. On one side, we have the broken, failing logic of scarcity. It's like a fragmented gear just stuck in a loop, managing a crisis without ever actually solving it. But contrasted with that are the optimized, flourishing pathways of the GENII intent engine. This acts as an optimization layer. It finds the path of least resistance to route resources effectively, totally bypassing all those typical human bottlenecks.
And that brings us to what's known as the paradox of scarcity. The reality is, our planet already possesses the technology, the energy, the water, and the food resources to ensure universal well-being. We already have the means. The failure is entirely in our outdated distribution systems and that zero-sum conflict logic we talked about. The planet is basically demanding a hard-coded system upgrade to fix this paradox once and for all.
Section 2. Healing Trauma Through Earth Stewardship.
Now, the human catalyst for this system upgrade relies on a profound 90-day ethical leadership reset that completely transforms combat trauma into stewardship. The journey kicks off by decompressing that high-stress combat mindset using cognitive restructuring. From there, it shifts into acts of practical loving-kindness. These veterans literally take over kitchen operations for elderly men at places like the Rabbi Akiva Yeshiva, which shifts their self-image from taking life to nurturing it. Finally, they go through an extreme off-grid autonomy capstone on Mount Zion.
To actually graduate as certified Earth Guardians, these veterans have to master something called bars and jars. It's the ultimate proof of concept. First, you have the high-density miracle bar, which packs an unbelievable 4,000 calories per kilogram and stays stable for years. Then you have the regenerative jar, utilizing completely natural, zero-energy anaerobic fermentation to preserve food. Mastering this proves they can secure absolute nutritional sovereignty anywhere, totally off the grid.
Section 3. ARQ18. The Hardware of Abundance.
Okay, so what is the ARQ18? It acts as the true hardware of abundance. It's a modular, completely closed-loop physical habitat. And what makes this so revolutionary is that a single unit permanently unplugs an individual from that legacy scarcity grid. It independently provides the 4 human essentials: clean air, food, shelter, and atmospheric water.
If we look inside, each habitat is essentially a self-contained biological engine. It uses advanced vertical aeroponic towers, called mistphonic sky acres, to grow high-yield, whole-food, plant-based nutrition using just a mist, no soil required. But it gets better. It also features a mining ATM, which is basically a micro-refinery that cleanly vaporizes local garbage and organic waste right back into usable energy. That means zero dependency on external infrastructure. Plus, there's continuous biometric and environmental monitoring to optimize the space for peak performance.
Now, the scale of this vision is massive. 8 million. That is the target number of these self-sustaining modular habitat units slated for global deployment by the year 2030. It's not just an idea, it's a tangible foundation for a completely new civilization model.
Section 4. Engineering the Hunger Bug Away.
$18. This number right here is the algorithmic key to the entire system. You see, the immediate daily cost to sustain a person inside this ARQ18 ecosystem is algorithmically locked at exactly $18. That represents the precise cost of a full daily cycle of whole food plant-based nutrition and shelter. It's an incredibly efficient baseline for human survival.
And that $18 baseline powers what's called the Miracle Bar Challenge. By scaling up to produce 2 million of those nutrient-dense daily bars and dedicating exactly 50% of them directly to the hungry, this initiative proves an amazing concept. It proves that solving personal health and eliminating hunger isn't just charity, it's the first highly profitable step to architecting stable societies. As the sources point out, the sequence is absolutely brilliant. You solve hunger, you create stability. Stability leads to peace, and peace ultimately generates profit.
Section 5. GNI's Bottom-Up Economic Paradigm.
To manage all this physical hardware, we look to the GENII AI architecture, often referred to as the Moral OS, or Moral Operating System. Now, this AI doesn't just crunch numbers and process data. It actively uses predictive protocols to preemptively reverse destructive behaviors. It enforces a universal guilt-free standard across the entire network, which simply dictates, do no harm, help if you can, and if you're ever unsure, just ask. It essentially guarantees ethical operation at a massive, planetary scale.
All of this leads us to a really fascinating question. How exactly does an individual veteran growing food totally off the grid translate into an unbreakable global economic paradigm? How do we go from a single, isolated habitat to global wealth?
Well, the answer is the peace for profit flywheel. It's a self-reinforcing loop. By using Gemini to establish moral legitimacy and accountability, you instantly lower the investment risk premium in volatile regions. Suddenly, it's safer to invest there. That stability then attracts high-scale, future-proof capital. Think autonomous logistics and renewable grids. That new infrastructure creates even more local stability, and the profits are continuously reinvested. Peace literally becomes the most logical, profitable market outcome.
And this all builds into real, tangible ownership for everyday people through a unique trust structure. Every single time a purchase is made in the ecosystem, like, say, buying Miracle Bar, the AI automatically carves off 20% into a global agricultural fund. That capital then buys physical, productive, and irreplaceable farming land. So this instantly transforms everyday consumers from passive aid recipients into fractional owners of tangible, sovereign land. It's a total game changer.
Section 6. Inclusive spaces for everyone. The source material captures the ultimate vision here perfectly. The planet possesses the technology, energy, water, and food resources to ensure universal well-being, a state of abundance reality. By shifting away from those old extractive, scarcity-based models over to this regenerative framework, we aren't just building fancy tech. We are actively preparing inclusive spaces where everyone can live their lives to the absolute fullest. Whether it's through the veteran healing programs or the elderly care at the yeshivas, this whole system is about securing universal well-being, regardless of age, abilities, or status.
Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder. The transition from managing scarcity to generating abundance is no longer a matter of hoping for a better future. It's just a matter of technical execution. So, as this global planetary reboot takes physical form through the ARQ18 nodes and GENII's ethical intelligence, what role will you play in humanity's new unbreakable operating system? Will you remain tethered to the legacy code or step into abundance? Thanks for exploring this remarkable blueprint with me today.